About to get up there, but he didn't move that fast. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular session this evening. The first item on the agenda is roll call.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Alderwoman Bibbs,
Here.
Alderman Runyons, Alderman Runyons,
Here.
Alderman Maloney, Alderman Rousey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The next
Alderman
item is the
Alderman
Pledge of
Hartman.
Allegiance.
Alderman Hartman.
Oh,
I'm here.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's
thank
all
you.
right.
The next item is Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer for our men and women in harm's way, and definitely also remember Nashville and Louisville victims as well.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very, very much. You may be seated. Today is April the 11th, and I normally don't do this, but especially for Air Force, but today is Charlie's birthday. Charlie, would you please stand? And let's say happy birthday to Charlie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you. All right, and many more, naturally, Charlie. Is there anybody else's birthday today? I don't want to miss anybody. Today's their birthday. No? Okay.
Well, your birthday was Sunday.
Yeah, but that's not today. So the next item is the approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion? Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So tonight's agenda has been approved. The next item is the approval of the minutes from the regular session, March 28th, 2023. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move we approve the minutes for the regular session, March 28, 2023.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Is any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the regular session minutes from March 28th, 2023 have been approved. The next item we have is under Ward's presentation, organizational business, and I am going to ask for a first reading on bill number 7689.
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
I move that Bill 7689 be first on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Bill number 7689, an ordinance declaring the results of the general election held in Grandview, Missouri on April 4, 2023, at which there were elected 3 aldermen, 1 from each ward, a mayor, and a municipal judge.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Runyons,
Aye.
Alderman Bibbs,
Aye.
Alderman Hartman,
Aye.
Alderman Maloney, Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I move that bill number 7689 be placed on the second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I second that.
Thank
Bill
you.
Bill number 7689, an ordinance declaring the results of the general election held in Grandview, Missouri on April 4, 2023, at which there were elected 3 aldermen, 1 from each ward, a mayor, and a municipal judge.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage. Mayor. Oh. Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Bibbs. Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7431.
So Bill number 7689 has passed. It is now ordinance 7431. And the next item is the administration of oath of office to the newly elected official. And Judge, we're going to start with you and your family and those that are going to be supporting you, and then we will follow suit. Judge, do you want me to have her come up, or she's coming? Okay. And Valerie, we can have somebody take pictures for you. Yes. So you. Daddy.
You haven't sworn him in yet. Still got to swear him in.
With your permission, I'll go ahead and administer the oath. Ronald E. Johnson, do you solemnly swear that you will support all city ordinances, state laws, the Constitution of Missouri, and the United States, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Judge of the Municipal Court, Municipal Division, City of Grandview, so help you God? I do.
Judge Johnson, could you introduce him to us when you get to the mic?
Oh, yes.
I do not need you, oh, they're going to introduce you. And that is yours to keep.
Well, thank you very much. I want to introduce a good friend of mine,
Get
James.
closer to the mic. Yes.
James Tobin. He is the senior judge in Lee Summit Municipal Court. And he and I kind of help each other out from time to time.
Amen.
He's been on the bench a long, long time.
Welcome, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
for your
Absolutely.
hospitality.
All right.
Don't need me for anything else, I'll tell that.
All right.
Thank you.
And I have family members, my daughter Latasha, my daughter Rondi, Malcolm, and Mackenzie, and my spouse.
Boss.
She's mostly known as Mrs. Judge.
Awesome. Thank you very much and congratulations. Catherine, would you please come forth with the kids? Come on down. William. And Queen Abigail. Dan? Dan, let's go. Let's go. Dale? Catherine, you want to give your phone to somebody? Come on up. Come on up. Right here. Oh, yes. Right here. William, yes. Always want my family. You want the rest of the girls? Uh, Come on, ladies. Mike, come on.
Number one son-in-law.
Sherry, somebody else to take a picture.
Joe's getting out of the way.
Sherry, who did you give your phone to? Yeah, give your phone. Yeah. Marcia takes pictures. Kurt, yeah. We got plenty of folks taking pictures. Are we missing anyone? I got it.
Got it?
We're rearranging the furniture.
Mayor Jones. Alderman Van Harden, Ward 2. Alderman Dale Taylor, Ward 1. And Alderman John Maloney, Ward 3. You'll raise your hands, your right hand, and when I'm finished, you'll say, "I will." Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, and the provisions of all the laws of this state affecting cities of the fourth class, and the ordinances of this city, faithfully discharge all duties pertaining to your office, and faithfully demean yourself in the office to which you have been appointed, so help you God?
I will. Congratulations.
Almost done.
And we would all sit down and sign your oath.
I don't know who's got whose phone.
Okay, honey. Make sure John's got his on. She must have missed it.
Okay, here I come.
The Air Force, 36 years of my life, last time I signed something.
Guess I can move.
All right. Yeah, but almost being up there, we couldn't get up there. Yeah, she had done it down here.
Da-da, thank you. Da-da.
But I didn't feel like getting up anyway. I was. Yeah.
We're going to start with Alderman Hartman so he can introduce his family and work our way around.
Introduce my family. You want to stand up?
You want to get closer to the mic. So-
We got, starting on the left, my son-in-law, Mike Lane,
Oh, yes.
daughter Jolynn, my wife Cheryl, daughter Julie, and daughter Sherry. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Dale, you've got a seat up here that you have to sit in. You can't be with Michelle anymore. Tuesday nights, you're going to be up here, okay? Yes, so give her a kiss, that's fine, but this is where you're going to be, okay? All right, let's.
As you all know by now, my wife's name is Michelle. We've been married a lot of years. We have 6 kids, and 5 kids, and 6 grandsons. And We've been
There you
in
go.
Grandview, 30, this home here, 33 years. And Grandview is my home, and I love it. And I'm glad to be a member. And I'm glad that Brother Jones is here. He is my friend. I say Brother Jones, but I never say that again because he's the Mayor Jones. But anyway,
It's okay.
I'm glad to be a member of this board. Thank you.
Good, good. Alderman Maloney, would you like to introduce those wonderful little angels there? And awesome. Thank you very much. And my wife and my daughter are in the back, Michelle and Kenya. So thank you as well. And we are grateful that we can enjoy the opportunity. So fantastic. The next item we have is a quick adjournment. And is there a motion for adjournment?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
I move that we adjourn temporarily.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman
I
Bibbs.
second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? So at 7:16, we're going to temporarily adjourn, get Alderman Taylor all situated and accounted for. And I think your iPad is coming this week? We hope. We hope this week. So we'll get you all squared away and so forth,
Yes.
okay?
Mayor,
sir.
it's,
Awesome.
it's ready to go.
Okay.
But we need to get with
Yeah.
with you to
Yes, sir.
take care of some of the passwords, usernames, and a few other things.
Yes, sir.
So we'll make that happen,
Yes, sir.
okay? Good. All right, the next item is the call to order and roll call, please.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Alderwoman Bibbs,
Here.
Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Alderman Runyons,
Here.
Alderman Maloney, Alderman Rousey,
Here.
Alderman Hartman.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum, and Daddy's girl is not happy. Make sure you turn your mic on. She says she wants her daddy. Fantastic. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing, and that is for a zoning map amendment at 1800 High Grove Road. And Dave is here to lead us through.
All right, good evening, Mayor and members of the board. Tonight, you have before you a public hearing for a zoning map amendment for a property addressed 1800 High Grove. There is an application in the Community Development Department to rezone this property on behalf of Nate Thomas and his Thomas Group Properties. Currently, the property is zoned, split zoned, C2 and OS designations. It presents a little bit of challenges for how the property can be utilized. A few months back, at the end of 2022, the applicant and their representative visited the Community Development Department during a pre-application meeting, at which time they had disclosed, they had purchased the property sometime recently, as of then, and they desired to remodel the interior and some of the exterior of the building for their purposes, which has been disclosed as a chiropractor office as well as a coffee house or cafe on the upper level. So the building would see kind of two different types of uses exist within inside of it. Currently, the designation, the zoning designation, and the way that it's split on the property kind of prohibits this sort of use from being able to exist. So during this meeting and afterwards, staff had reflected on the information shared and then referenced the city's future land use map, which is a part of the city's comprehensive plan, and identified that there is a commercial designation, land use designation for the property, which would warrant consideration for rezoning it to C2 general commercial in its entirety. That action would achieve both the city's goals with its future land use map and comprehensive plan, as well as the applicant's goals for being able to utilize the property in the way that they feel best meets the demand that's there. So with that, I'll hand it back over to you if you have any questions, and be happy to answer. And the applicant is here as well to share some information if you, with you all, and then answer any questions as well. So,
Thank you. And the Planning Commission had this earlier in the month, correct?
last week it was at the Planning Commission.
Yes.
And they recommended approval of the zoning map amendment in accordance with the city zoning ordinance. So.
Good. Excellent. Any questions for Dave on this item? Yes.
Did the owner mention what they want to put in there?
Yes, sir. It had been shared that their intention is to finish out the interior of the building for a chiropractor office on the lower level and a cafe or coffee house on the upper level. And there'd be some modifications to improve accessibility as well as some exterior modifications to the property to kind of upgrade its appearance from what it is today. So some general site work would also go along with that, but generally speaking, those are the two uses that they are looking to fill in the space if approved.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? Anyone?
Mayor.
Yes.
Dave, if we rezone that and he moves out, what can come back in? Any kind of business that might bother the houses across the street, because it's kind of right up against those residential houses across the street.
So what would be allowed there are any of the allowable uses in the C2 zoning designation, which is very similar to the properties that are to the west of this towards the frontage road and as well as to the north along Main Street. So generally speaking, commercial businesses that have retail sales, but also could be office uses and things of that nature. The interesting part about this particular property is the way that it's oriented. It faces, and its main circulation between the parking lot and the front doors is to the north, so it's kind of facing away from the residential uses.
Right.
The backs of the building is what actually faces the residents to the south, unless there was some sort of substantial modification to the property, which I don't know there's enough space to. Most of that activity would be occurring on the side facing the existing commercial uses to the north. So I think that would probably help with any sort of possible disruptions down the road if a use change or ownership changed and there was a desire for something else there.
And so the staff recommends probably that we do this.
Staff had recommended
Okay.
approval for the zoning map amendment, and the Planning Commission decided that was also appropriate. So,
Okay?
yeah.
Thank you.
Any further?
Mayor?
Yes.
Dave, will we be able to hear from the applicant or the residents? Because I know across from that property, there are homes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had sent out courtesy letters about 3 weeks before the public hearing had taken place with the Planning Commission, notifying them of the public hearing of the zoning change, possible zoning change. There were no folks from the community that received those courtesy letters or community-wide that showed up to voice any sort of comments or concerns for that case last week. But we do have the applicant here, or the applicant's representative, I should say, that could come up, and if you have any questions specific to their particular project, would be able to respond to those.
Okay, thank you.
You want to hear from the I mean, he's here. You want
Yeah.
to hear?
we'd like to hear.
Will you come on up and provide, like you did on Wednesday, an update or an overview? We appreciate it. State your name and address, and do sign in with our city clerk when you finish.
Absolutely. Mayor, Alderman, thank you. My name is Aaron
You
Schlegel.
grab the mic again like you did Wednesday.
Okay. Mayor, Alderman, thank you for your time this evening. My name is Aaron Schlegel, 4716 Adams Street, Westwood, Kansas, 66205. I'm serving as the owner's representative for the owner, Nate Thomas, and Thomas Group Properties. He is a local Kansas City owner, resident, and with a growing chiropractic practice and sports medicine firm in Waldo, and he is relocating his practice to Grandview in order to expand. Part of that expansion involves leases on the first floor, which would be a coffee shop and other allowable uses within the C2 zoning. The project square footage The building square footage is 7,310 square feet, and the site square footage is 31,974 square feet. And as previously mentioned, the building is screening any residential uses to the south, both with a fence and building. I'm here for any questions that you may have, and appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for him? As in Wednesday night, you did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, this is a public hearing, so if anyone in the public would like to address this particular hearing, please step up to the mic, state your name and address, and do sign in as well. I do not see anyone presenting themselves. All right. The time is 7:25. I declare public hearing closed. Thank you, Dave. The next item is consent items E through H. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
I move that E through H be voted on individually tonight because there's a lot of activity here. I think the public should know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So you want to, we can go through E through H for approval and then have staff go through them individually.
That's fine.
Okay. So is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
Runyon?
Yes.
I move, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. So what do you want to take first?
Purchasing
Okay.
order. There's a purchase order to Enterprise for $660,000 that we have no idea what it's for. We've not been informed of what we're buying, so we shouldn't vote on something that we're just getting a dollar figure.
Yeah, happy to address that. This is something that you guys approved last year.
Yes,
This
but
is the enterprise program where we start leasing. This is a 5-year contract, and this is the second year of that contract.
when we approved it then, we were told that we would be told what we're buying. And so far, we've never been informed whether buying dump trucks or police cars.
Yeah,
Or Cadillacs for
yeah,
somebody.
it is a series of things. And if you remember, that list was distributed to you and this board at a time. What's happening right now is because of the supply chain issues, not every single one of them is coming to us at the same time.
Well, I understand that. What are they? We don't know what they are.
Yeah, we'll resend the list. It's the same list. List did not change. Some vehicles came, some did not. So this is the lease program that we sign up with them.
I understand that.
A year ago.
What did we buy? Or what did we
The
lease?
majority of the vehicles are Parks and Rec Department, Public Works Department, Police Department. It was basically the same list that we sent out last year when we considered this during the
But
budget process.
The alderman should see that we got 10 pickups or.
And I can tell you, Alderman Runyons,
We don't see that. So
those are coming in like very sporadically. Like we had one come in today at 4:55, and
But
3 more
my-
are coming in the next couple of weeks. So we don't
My
actually
point,
know when they're going
We
to
need to
get.
know what they are, and nobody tells us.
So-
Nobody has said that we bought.
We'd be
picked up.
happy to resend that list. Alderman
Yeah,
Runyons.
we Alderman Runyons, we have shared that list. This is the same exact list of vehicles that we got authorization from you guys to go ahead and sign a contract with Enterprise Leasing.
But you give us.
And
told us,
until
but we never
we
did get
start
the
getting
list.
the vehicles, we did not pay these guys. So now that the vehicles start to come, payment is due. Happy to resend the list to you and this board to see the same list that we sent last year.
So if I can help a little bit, the enterprise list that we approved was a list of vehicles, and we gave staff permission to proceed with a 5-year contract, which is saving the city of Grandview untold amount of money because we're buying them on a timely basis, but also on the tail end, we're selling the ones that we currently have on a timely basis, so we're saving money on both ends. And that list that was sent was a list of all the vehicles that we were going to purchase within the 5-year period. But we can only get them as they come in. So therefore, we only pay for them when they come in. So we're not paying in advance. You are paying for vehicles as vehicles become available. And because of the supply chain that I'm sure you're all aware of, the vehicles are not coming in, in vast quantities because they're not available. So they are trickling in, if you will. And as they trickle in, we pay accordingly. Did I say that properly?
That is correct, Mayor. And I'm happy to resend the list. It's the same list. List did not change.
Yeah. So let's resend the list and go through that, that process again, because that's what we said we were going to do, and that's what we did. So,
And Mayor,
yes.
maybe to clarify that up a little, I understand what you're saying, Joe. If this was already done the last year, we've probably got some vehicles in already, right?
That's right.
So just maybe identify those that we've
We will.
gotten
Yeah, we
and
will.
the ones that we're waiting on.
So the issue is normally, like, if this was a normal post-COVID era where the vehicles were readily available at dealerships and the supply chain was working properly, right? We would have bought these, we would name 10 vehicles and we would purchase them that year from a dealership. What's happening right now is they say, hey, you bought a spot in the assembly line, but something happens to that assembly line and we don't get those vehicles.
Recent situation, Alderman Hartman, is that, as soon as we adopted that last year after the budget, we ordered the vehicles. That put us in line, and we've had vehicles canceled out from under us just with no warning whatsoever.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an issue with me or Joe or anybody, but if we're going to pay out some money, I think Joe's just asking, what did that money go for? That's the simple question. And then we're waiting on the rest. So, I mean, it's already been approved for the 5-year purchase, right?
Correct.
That is correct.
Yeah, so I think.
And we're saving a ton of money with this approach. Like the ones that we're getting ready to sell, we're going to sell them at prime.
And when you do resend that email, can you just not only identify the vehicles, but identify what the savings are? Because I think Enterprise has gone through to tell us what the savings are because we are in the program.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah, awesome. Any other discussion on item E? Item F is a resolution, and this is city collector write-off for uncollectible balance of funds.
Just kind of an explanation. I mean, it's here, but we need.
This is kind of
I understand the ambulance because we've got a lot of freeloaders.
That's a terminology I wouldn't use because those are our residents. But at the same time, I will tell you, this is a routine cleanup we have to do accounting-wise. You guys do that every single year, every quarter or so,
Item F.
so that we don't accumulate these. However, if you remember what I always say, this doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to go after some of these charges. They are still sitting in the books, and our collection agency go after them. However, we do not want, accounting-wise, false expectations of these are still receivable, account receivable dollars. That would substantially inflate the budgets, which may or may not exist.
So those of you in the audience, I asked Becky to go to item F, and item F is what we're discussing right here. This is what was in our packet, and we get this every Friday, and it's available to all of you as well on Friday. And this is the packet of telling us what write-offs we are taking. And again, this is consistent with accounting principles because this is a part of what we should be doing. And Rita is sitting there and saying like, duh, but yes, I've got to say it for those that are sitting here, Rita. So those are the items that we have in our packet that we're voting on. Any other questions on that item?
No. Yeah, Mayor.
Yes.
And also, that it's not only ambulances in that part, in the sewer bills and
there are a few other things too.
Yeah, a few other things with that. So total write-offs for the year are about how much?
I think it was about 700,000, 727,000 for ambulance.
For the total write-offs.
That was for ambulance.
Yes.
And most of that's ambulance, isn't it?
That's
majority of them.
Yeah.
Majority.
Yeah, just to give you guys an idea, round trip with a ambulance costs between $1,000 to $1,500. And when we do not get paid for those by insurance and or privately, it becomes a collection matter. So it's not a cheap to run a ambulance.
So Medicare only pays so much. And-
Mayor,
and-
the highest I've seen so far, they pay 40%. That's
Right.
why these are all subsidized services.
Exactly.
Like, this is part of our job is to figure out a way to afford these services, and they are subsidized by taxes.
Any further questions on item F? Alderman Maloney.
This is exactly average, almost, Alderman Runs.
And I promise you, yeah, and I promise you this too, they're not the same people.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, yes.
The community center, is that bad checks?
It's not. I wouldn't say not knowing the details. That there are times that your membership is for X many months, and your credit card is expired, and you owe us for that month or so. So I don't know if it's a bad check or not. But if you have a bad check, we would record that in our records, so that next time you want to get a membership, it'll be not as easy as you walk in it.
That's pretty much for the majority of them, Alderman Runyon's what they are, is the bad memberships. If you looked at the list, there's typically not much that's over $100, $200. So we catch them pretty early over there, and then they discontinue the membership when they've not paid.
And the next one is the city's group insurance plan. And since Amanda's not here, you want to,
Yeah, Amanda is out sick
Yeah,
today,
Maggie's here,
but
too.
we have Kirk, who
Yes.
has been working diligently with Amanda, and our broker is here, who's been helping us out tremendously. Her name is Maggie. Any additional questions, we're happy to answer it.
Really no new information from what we discussed last week at the work session. We did not have a favorable year when it came to experience, but we did have a very favorable year when it came to bidding. And we had one vendor who was very aggressive and wanted our business, and that's who we will transition to next year for not only the health insurance, but also the dental benefits also.
and again, those of you in the audience, this is also in our packet. So and we also had this discussion last Tuesday, so that you are aware. Item H.
Mayor.
Yes.
I'd just like to say I really appreciated Amanda's presentation, and I'm very well pleased with Aetna.
And Alderman
Insurance
Bibbs, I
carrier.
might say that Maggie's sitting in the audience, and I will give her kudos because she is a real pit bull on our behalf when it comes to this. And I can say that the reason we got these favorable rates is because of the work she does.
Yeah, well, thank you, Maggie. Appreciate that. The next item H, is schedule of bills. Any discussion on the schedule of bills as we slide down to item H? You know, and that too is in our packets. So, any questions on the schedule of bills? And Alma Taylor, that's why, you know, we get this on Friday. So, yeah, so you'll have it as well. And I think, Becky, his email is already on the list? Okay, so you'll be getting that. Good. Any further discussion on the schedule of bills?
No.
Hearing none. It was first and second. Any further discussion on anything else? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next item is calling for a closed session. Is there a motion for item I?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that we call a closed meeting Tuesday, April the 11th, 2023, in the mayor's conference room immediately following the regular session at 7:00 p.m. Individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment, except that this exemption shall not apply to the name, positions, salaries, and lengths of service for officers and employees of the city once they are employed as such.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We'll have a closed meeting right after this meeting. The next area is ordinances. Is there a motion for bill number 7690?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyon.
I move that Bill 7690 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I'll second that.
Bill number 7690, an ordinance declaring the results of the special election held in the city of Grandview, Missouri on April 4, 2023, for sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of non-medicinal adult use marijuana sold within the city of Grandview, Missouri.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Motion for second reading. Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7690, an ordinance declaring the results of the special election held in the city of Grandview, Missouri on April 4, 2023, for sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of non-medicinal adult use marijuana sold within the city of Grandview, Missouri.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage. Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Maloney. Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7432.
So bill number 7690 has passed. It's now ordinance 7432. Is there a motion on bill number 7691?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7691 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman
I'll
Hartman.
second that.
Bill number 7691, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an STP urban agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for utilization of federal funds to perform the bridge replacement and rehabilitation on Raytown Road and restoration work to Longview Trail project.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Motion for second reading. Alderman Maloney. Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7691, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an STP urban agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for utilization of federal funds to perform the bridge replacement and rehabilitation on Raytown Road and restoration work to Longview Trail project.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7691 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Maloney.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7433.
So bill number 7691 has passed. It's now ordinance 7433. The next item is awards presentation, organizational business, and I am going to, let's start with item N, appointments to various boards and commissions, and just get a motion, and then I'll go back to item L. So is there a motion for the appointment of the various boards and commissions? I think we have two. Alderman Maloney.
Motion to reappoint Ms. Candy Miller to a 5-year term that expires on April 30th, 2028 to the Parks and Recreation Commission, and an appointment of Christy Darby to an appointment to fill a vacancy of a 4-year term that expires on July 1st, 2027 to the Planning Commission, and to also appoint Christy Darby to the Tax Increment Finance Commission to fill a vacancy of a
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we'll make those appointments accordingly. Christie is here, Candy is not, so we will do that. Let's go back up to item L, the selection of acting president of the board. We had Alderman Hartman, Alderman Maloney, and Alderwoman Bibbs. We go back to Ward 2, and that's Alderman Runyons. So is there a motion for Alderman Runyons to be the acting president of the Board of Aldermen? Alderman Maloney? Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs?
I second the motion.
You guys want to think about it for a moment? Here now. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So Alderman Runyons will be the acting president of the Board of Aldermen. Congratulations. And now we have the opportunity to recognize a legend. A legend. And that is Jay Tar has been, I can tell you stories. He has been it's amazing to me sometimes in different places we have multiple people that are in certain commissions. And Jay Tar has been one of 3 commissioners that I am aware of that lived on Corrington. We had Alderman Crane, and we had Alderman Crane and, who am I missing? No, down the street from you, Jim. Homer Thompson.
Yeah.
Homer Thompson and now Jay. So we had 3 on the planning commission, and it's almost like Corrington was a brain trust of planning commissioners and leadership and so forth. And this has been bittersweet. Jay has helped lead the planning commission as the president of that commission for a number of years. And he has done it gracefully, and he has led the city of Grandview in this process for more than 30 years. So this is a big deal and a big shift as we change chairmans for the Planning Commission. So Jay, if you and Marcia would come, we will present you with this. And I just want to say, Marcia has been a sweetheart. She has allowed him to do all these things, year after year after year. So, Marcia, we appreciate it, absolutely. And needless to say, their youngest daughter, Bree, worked as a lifeguard at the View. So she spent many days and years as a lifeguard for us. And we've been grateful for their whole family. It's been a blessing. So we have a couple of your commissioners here with you. We've got Alderman Rousey behind you. We have Alderman Crane there in front of you. We've got Christian right there, also there, and that little guy in the back who we sang happy birthday to. He's going to be the one. Yeah, the new guy. He's going to be the one to replace me on the planning commission. So we still have to find out who's going to be the chairman, but we'll go through that process. So, Jay Tar, in appreciation of 32 years of service to the city of Grandview on the planning commission, May 14th, 1991 through April the 5th, 2023. Congratulations, sir. Jay has, like I said, he's been a stalwart, and we have been very, very appreciative. So, thank you, sir, and I'm interested in working again. So, you've got the mic.
Well, it's been a long 32 years. There's been ups and downs, but I couldn't have done it without staff. Without their support, and guidance, not only from staff, but outside counsel and stuff, I mean, you can't do the job. You have to sit there and take their best advice and let them, lead the dance, so to speak. And there's been long nights, Marcia will tell you. She sits there, I've heard it once, I've heard it twice. When do you think you'll be home? I said, well, this doesn't look like a good agenda tonight. It may be 10 o'clock, sometimes midnight on some of them it's been. There's short ones, there's long ones, but you just take them as they come. And I appreciate it. The circumstances of why we're leaving, I don't know if you guys know, Marcia fell down the stairs at our house about 2 years ago, and she broke her shoulder. She's had 2 operations. We sort of need to get on one floor, okay? And plus, we're getting old. Face it. So, yeah, she's actually older than I am. But, and plus, we like to travel. Kurt knows that. In fact, Kurt, I'm going back to Scotland again. I'm on the board of directors at their timeshare in Scotland, so in September I'll be going back there. When I retired from AT&T, which you used to work for, it's sort of ironic. I started with AT&T, then spun off to Southwestern Bell Telephone. Then it became SBC. We started buying up the other baby Bells, and then we ended up buying AT&T. So it's sort of been full circle. I worked for them for 42 years. My grandchildren and children say, how in the hell can you work for a company that long? And I said, well, to put food on the table and bought you gifts and stuff. So, hey, I did a good term there. And, it's hard to leave. My boss is still there 50-some years, if you can believe that. He's still there. And he thought I abandoned him. And I'm sitting there, well, I got a little more traveling to do. And we do, we travel. My retirement gift from AT&T was a Toomey suitcase, and it's got thousands of miles on it already. But again, thank you very much, guys. And like my other commissioners and stuff say, well, who's going to remember all this shit? I said, hey, just give me a call. I'll give you the insights of what the heck happened or what the history is, and maybe that'll help you out. So don't be strangers. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jay really means that. He has been a wealth of knowledge. When I retired, I was like, okay, Jay, what do I need to think about? What do I need to do? You were at the phone company. I was at the phone company. What are they going to try to do to me? And Jay was instrumental because he knew what to expect. So I appreciate that. But more importantly, Marcia is the brains and the boss. So she's the one in charge, and she's the one that says, we're going to do something, it happens. So anything you want to say, Marcia?
I am so proud of what he has done here for the city, and he really looked forward to those meetings every month, and I didn't really care if he was late because I knew he was doing his job. So congratulations, hon.
And I can say this because I know Jay pretty well. Don't feel sorry for Jay. Jay is the kind of person that if you know him a little bit, you know that he and Jim are like brothers, okay? They're anal, and people like that because they're not going to miss anything. And Jay is on the board in Scotland. I think they pay to fly you back. So don't feel sorry. Once they realize how anal Jay was, they says, we need you on the board. As a matter of fact, we probably need you as the chairman of the board. So that tells you a lot about who he is and what he does. And Marcia, she enjoys the trips, right? You don't complain, do you? So don't feel sorry for the TARs. They are going to be in good hands, but keep us informed. And the board would like to thank you guys as well. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we got planning commissioners. You guys want to say anything? Christian, Charlie now, Jim? Okay. Yes. Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. And make sure you tell Bree hello for us, Marcia. We appreciate it. Right here. Come on up, Christy. Yes.
Do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, and the provisions of all the laws of this state affecting cities of the fourth class and the ordinances of this city, faithfully discharge all duties pertaining to your office, and faithfully demean yourself in the office to which you have been appointed. So help me God.
It is exactly 7:56 this evening, and I declare public comment open. Anybody would like to step up and address the Board of Aldermen? Public comment, you have an opportunity right now. And as I'm thinking about it, I just want to acknowledge Bud and Patty Day. Thank you, guys. Bud, it's good to see you. I know you had the best nurse in the world in Patty, so what a blessing. So just want to acknowledge that you are here. I called Bud periodically. I would just call, check in, and he says, I'm coming back. So it's good to see you, Bud. Thank you. Anyone would like to address the Board of Aldermen? I see no one has presented themselves. I declare public comment closed. The next area is other business. And let's start with Alderman Taylor. Any other business you have for tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. Alderman Runyons.
No.
Alderman Maloney.
Mayor,
Yes.
just wanted to say I'm looking forward to our next 2 years. You know, I think it's going to be a good group of people. And one thing I can say about everyone sitting here, I think we all have the best interest in Grandview. So I'm proud to call you colleagues. Looking forward to working.
Amen. Thank you. Alderwoman Bibbs.
Ditto to what John just said.
Okay. Alderman Hartman.
Yeah, Mayor, first, I made some notes there. I'd like to really thank Debbie and Joe for endorsing me on this race, and that you guys really helped me. I'd like to say to all the organizations and businesses that supported me to thank you, a special thanks. All my friends and family, which most of my family has left, I think, but I was going to especially reach out to Mike Lane. He did a lot for me. He does so much for everybody around town, and he really helped me out in that. I also wanted to thank candidate Dale and John on being elected, and especially reach out to you, Dale. You know, if we can make you more comfortable, anything I can do to help you, reach out to me. I'm glad you're here. John, I'm glad you're back. You had kind of a hard race, I know, but you made it, and even the judge still back there.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations, Judge. And that's all. Again, I'm going to serve another 2 years and hopefully do my job the best I can here. So I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thomas.
I have one thing for Harry's Heyday. Parks and Rec are looking for volunteers to help out. So anybody in the community wants to help out, just call Parks and Rec, ask for Peyton. I would give you the website, but it's a little bit long. So, but they do need a couple more volunteers, especially in the parking lots and staging areas. And if you can't get in touch with her, just talk to anybody in Parks and Rec. They'll lead you in the right direction.
Thank you. Appreciate that. A couple of things. Citizens Academy is going very well. We've got, 8 attendees about, and very excited to be there and loving it. And Charlie is coming back for his second tour of Citizens Academy. So it's coming along very well. Today I was in Jeff City and I testified again regarding the landfill. It was standing room only. When we testified before the House, Bill 909, it was a much larger room, almost like this room. And everybody was able to get in, sit down, and so forth. For the Senate side, it was a tiny room that everybody was standing up, and then they forced everybody out, and just those that had seats could stay in. But it was good. Raymore, Lee Summit, Grandview, we were all there. Cass County, Jackson County. So we're still fighting the fight. I thought some very good testimonies were had, and if you looked at Channel 9 News, Channel 9 was there, and they tried to talk to the owner, and the owner, she did not want to talk. She just took off. And he's been trying to get an interview with the owner for some time, the owner of the landfill, the proposed landfill. And they're not in a talking mood, go figure. So anyway, we did that. Kudos to staff, the Easter egg hunt and dive, both were big hits. Saturday, the Easter egg dive was huge at the View, and they had a great time. So, thank you to staff for what they did on that. That was good. We have a social hour with the Chive tomorrow. So those of you that can come, again, this is a Grandview event. Those of you that can come, the Chamber is hosting a social hour at the Chive. So that should be another fun opportunity for us. And I also want to say that the View has remodeled and refinished the exercise room. That room looks fantastic, looked like it did when the View first opened. Now what we need to do is do everything we can to keep it that way. So I think Jared is going to make sure that whatever equipment is moved back in is properly safety feet or whatever is on them so that we're not scratching up the floor. So, but the floor looks good, and there's nothing but positive comments all week long. So, and those of you who like catfish, on April the 21st, the VFW will be having their catfish. And Michelle and I will be there because we're always there for the good catfish. So on the 21st, the VFW will have their fish fry, and we'll go from there. Staff, anything you have for us?
Couple of quick ones, Mayor. One is Harry's Heyday. I just got the numbers with regards to number of vendors. We have over 70 members, vendors joining us for the Saturday morning event. That's a record for us. And the moment I challenged them at the 70 vendors, we got that number. Challenge changed to a 80. Let's see if we can get to 80. That would be fantastic. We just recently added a petting zoo. That's a very popular event by our kids. That's going to be there too. And last but not least, I was one of the presenter at the joint chamber event between Belton and Grandview lunchtime. It was a very well attended event. A bunch of businesses from both sides were there, and we were able to tell them the secret sauce of growth in Grandview.
Good. Thank you very much. It is 8:03. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Mayor.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor.
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we are officially adjourned at 8:03. Da, da, da.